Hey, what's up, traders? This is Taylor. Today is January 2nd. So happy New Year, and the bears have started off here with a bit of a bang. Pretty good selling today. Frankly, I'm not really seeing any issues across the bigger time frames. The monthly chart, the weekly chart, and a lot of the daily charts have gone pretty unaffected. The issues I am seeing are on your lower time frames. 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly. Now, granted, those issues on the lower time frames could turn into bigger problems, but as far as I can see, and I think I covered this in the last video, everything about the monthly charts looks poised for continuation higher. And we might pull back first, we might chop around a little bit, which I think is a little bit more likely than a huge pullback. But nonetheless, the SPX has fired a monthly squeeze to the upside. And then the big Dow Jones, the Dowski, as of this morning, also firing a monthly squeeze to the upside. So again, there could be a pullback. Could be a little bit of chop, but that signal says there's a path here towards 395, 400. And then I think the most interesting one would be the equal weighted indexy RSP. And we're getting the slingshot signals here. Structure is pretty good. So yeah, the monthly charts look good. And I'll show you on the watch list columns here. So we've got a few columns for the Big 3 score. Best possible score for the Bulls is a positive 10. And the best score for the Bears is a negative 10. So we got columns here for the Big 3 scores. And then we got the columns for the squeeze. So here's what I'm seeing. The monthly charts. All right, we got the indices here. The monthly charts are rock solid. Positive 9, positive 9, positive 8, 9, 8. The weekly charts are all 1 point away from perfect. The daily charts grade out really well. No huge issues here on the 4-hour. Here's where things get a little bit sloppy. 15-minute hourly. And, like I mentioned, the issues on the 1-hour could turn into problems on the 4-hour. They could turn into problems on the daily chart. My thinking a bit more is things are going to revert back to their daily 21. Chop around for maybe a week or so. And then when the hourly scores can shift back to bullish, or keeping things simple, if you have the Big 3 indicator, wait for things to pull back into support. When the first hourly buy signal prints, should be a good spot to buy the dip and work those longs. And then one thing that's confirming, if anything, the idea that we chop for a bit, over here on the hourly chart for the SPX, the Big 3 indicator has the first sell signal since all the way back here on October 31st. So this thing ran, 600 points before ever getting the hourly sell signal. So yeah, that could turn to a bigger problem. We could get a 2-hour sell signal. We could get a 4-hour sell signal. I think at a minimum, that hourly sell signal might take price back down to that daily 21. From there, you look for support, and you kind of take it day by day. But based on the monthly charts, based on the weekly charts, I'm going to be in the business of waiting for a pullback, marking up my buy zone, and then as soon as I get my trigger on a 30-minute or an hourly, jump on in and buy the dip. All right, so a few names I'll be looking to buy the dip in. Now for Google, I'm already long for February expiration. If I'm going to add to it, I'm probably going to go with a March or an April. I'm thinking March or April. Now, I can't add to it just yet. I want to add on the first 30-minute or hourly buy signal. We are cranking out an hourly sell signal. So I'm going to pump the brakes for now. But jumping over to the weekly chart, picture perfect weekly squeeze. Big 3 scores a positive 10. We have the green A+ setup label, meaning there's a squeeze, a buy signal, and a pretty good entry. So that all looks poised for a push towards that 150, 155 target. But again, I'm going to add to that on the lower time frame trigger, assuming, of course, the weekly squeeze still looks pretty. So I'm liking Google and then Tesla here. Now, all things being considered, Tesla had a pretty strong day. Now it's flat, so not a traditional strong day, but with the S&Ps down, the Qs down, all the big boys down, not too bad of a showing here from Tesla. And I do think he had the delivery numbers this morning. But same thing here for Tesla. Really nice weekly squeeze. Good structure, big three scores at 10 out of 10. Keep in mind, we are coming up on earnings. So that's where things get a little tough, where, I think a weekly squeeze is a perfect trade for a 45 to 60 to 90 day till expiration swing. But we're at that point in the calendar where if you're taking that, that March expiration or that April expiration, you might be sitting through earnings. So do with that what you may, but it's a good looking signal. And then even on the monthly chart, we've got the monthly squeeze and some early slingshot signals trying to print. As long as that holds up, as long as the weekly chart checks out, first 30-minute buy signal, first hourly buy signal, I'm going to add to the March expiration called debit spreads, the out-the-money debit spreads. Next up here is NVDA. And for NVIDIA, I'm watching the weekly squeeze. The saga continues here. It's been trapped in a squeeze since early October. The slingshot signals we're printing. So if you're not familiar with my indicator, the green arrow down here on the squeeze means everything's perfect. We're in compression, we're building up energy, but the structure is bullish, momentum, the EMAs are stacked, all the good stuff. The blue arrow means things aren't quite perfect, but the trend in the structure, they check out. So it's an early buy signal. We got some March expiration out the money debit spreads. Looking for a push here into 550-ish. If I had to jump into a weekly squeeze right now, it'd be Google or Tesla. If they can print another slingshot signal on NVIDIA, then I think it's fair game. That one I think you're a bit more patient with. Google, Tesla, I think you pay a little bit more attention to. But I'm going to keep rocking with NVIDIA for now. And then my last pick here, my second to last pick, is Microsoft and the daily squeeze. And I don't think you have to rush into it. It's just a really good spot as far as risk-reward. If you can pick that up anywhere near 370, I think you cut the trade loose on a break of your daily 50. So as far as the equity goes, you're risking $5 or $6. And then if the S&Ps can find support, QQQ can find support, if the indices start to head back up towards the highs, I think that daily squeeze slingshot's higher. At that point, you're working a target of 385, 390. So there's $15 to $20 of upside in exchange for, call it 5, 6, maybe $7 of downside. So Microsoft, NVIDIA, Tesla, and Google. And then my last pick for you, and I'll show you the radar here. If we pull up the sectors, it's a little bit of a fickle beast, but energy's got this huge monthly squeeze. Now the tricky thing is, check out the scores. Very good monthly chart, 8 out of 10. Not a bad daily. It's not going to knock off your socks. It's positive 4. So that could be a little bit better. The 4 hour, the 1 hour could be a little bit better. I don't like the negative 3 here on the weekly chart. So point I'm trying to make is I think energy's got to clean up a little bit more before we can call it a top shelf kind of setup. But yeah, the monthly squeeze here, she's a beauty. Part of me wants to buy the June or July or August expiration 100 calls and just kind of sit on them. So that all checks out as far as an interesting monthly squeeze. And I bring this up because, back to the radar here, as far as a theme goes, that is one theme I'm seeing right now, where a lot of the energy stocks have got that monthly squeeze. Exxon, Valero, there's one in COP, EOG, there's one, I believe, in Oxy, FANG. I'll show you FANG. I'll show you what FANG is working with. Very nice monthly squeeze. Checking out the labels here, there's also a weekly squeeze, a 3-day, a 2-day, and a 4-hour. So a couple of picks for you from the big boys. NVIDIA, Google, Microsoft, Tesla. And then as a wild card pick, let's keep an eye here on the monthly squeeze for energy. What I would like to see at a minimum, can they at least get the, that's not XLE. There's XLE. Can they at least get the big 3 score on the weekly chart neutral? In the context of a really nice monthly squeeze, if the weekly score can get to even 0, right, 0, positive 1, 2, 3, I think those 100 calls are pretty interesting. But alright, y'all, Happy New Year. If you haven't already, go on ahead and hit the like and the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Adios.
What's up, traders? This is Taylor from Simpler Trading. I wanted to thank you for watching our video, and if you liked the video, go on ahead and comment down below, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell icon to get a notification anytime we upload our next video. And of course, if you want to watch us trade live in real time with our own money, check us out at simplertrading.com. Until then, trade safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.